Now, in this video, I want to be discussing and talking about my journey as a college student who made an app. About me, my name is Ehsan. I'm a 20-year-old college student from Montreal, and I'm pretty tall, by the way, if that matters. And by the way, if you like the video somehow, and make sure to subscribe, like, and share so I can go viral. Thank you so much. Anyways, let's go way back. Let's go like chronologically, something like that. Back to June 2024, where I heard about this competition called like Gemini Developer Competition. It was like the biggest hackathon. You had to use Gemini AI models and make a product, anything out of it. And whoever there was many categories, but whoever had the best app would win a huge sum depending on the category. I mean, I heard about it, I didn't want to participate, but at the same time, somehow I had this idea of uh, making making an AI that's integrated with a local operating system. So let's say I told it to scrape the internet and save it in a TXT file on my desktop, it would do it, and many other complicated other things. Just completely integrated inside the laptop and it would do things for you. And keep in mind, this was actually before AI agents were a thing. This was June 2024. There was no Claude. Uh, there was no uh, there was no such thing as AI agents. So it was pretty innovative and obviously complicated. I just had the idea. I didn't really think I could pull it out, pull it off. Uh, but I don't know what led me to actually start it. Probably the money seduced me. So I started really working hard on that idea for the competition, even though it was quite complicated. And somehow I made it work pretty well. It was it was completely integrated with the local operating system. It could do literally anything you ask it to. I think once I told it to sort my desktop. I have a very messy desktop of so many folders and files. I told it to sort it, but I didn't really give it details. So interestingly, what it did was it took all the files from my desktop, which is imagine my desktop is like full of files. You can see them everywhere, and put them all in one folder. And at the time, it put the folder very far from my view, like in the corner. So my desktop became empty, and I was like, I had a heart attack because I thought it deleted everything. And then I see in the top corner, there's a folder with all my folders, and that was a moment I I I, I realized I shouldn't screw with AI, and I should not give it root access. Because the funny part was it had root access to my laptop, because it's no fun when there's restrictions, right? Anyways, uh, I was sure I was gonna win, but obviously I did not win. Uh, it was unfair, I would say, but I did not win. And it was quite sad. This is basically October, November, but I still wanted to keep making Omni, which was the name of the app. But I also had this extra feature I wanted to add it, where it could edit anything on the spot. So you select this text, and then you tell it to, I don't know, do something with the text, and it just does it on the spot. So you don't have to, I don't know, copy the text, go to ChatGPT, write it, paste, send it, wait for it, copy the ChatGPT answer, go back and paste it. That's many steps. So it's like, what if I make this feature where you can select it and it does it on the spot for you, so you save a lot of time. And I wanted to add it to Omni, but some friend told me this could be its own app. And this was the general idea of how Shift was born. It was very simple, as you guys can see, but very useful. I mean, think about the possibilities of how you can use this. So I started coding another app, being hopeless. I got a new hope, and I coded it maybe 10 hours a day, 15 hours a day. I was really focused on it because the idea is simple, but you have to make it smooth to use. You understand? And also a lot of other features came later, like shortcuts that I'll be explaining later in this video. But yeah, I think I coded the app itself in basically 3 days. It was functional. But the thing is, the next 2 months I spent making sure it's smooth and also every other. But the main feature of Shift was coded in 5 days maybe. But it was not smooth at all. You have to make sure it's very usable. It's very smooth and usable. So I spent a long time perfecting it. And so yeah, Shift is basically an AI app that lets you edit text code, tables, and Excel, anything on the spot with any AI you want. We have a lot of models. The mechanism is pretty simple. You simply select the text and then you double press on right side shift key, you give it your prompt, and then you click enter. That's it. That's all. And this could work literally anywhere. Whether it's Words, Google Docs, coding, it could be used by. It's pretty general. So yeah, there can be developers that can use this, and also people who write, and also people who use Excel a lot, and many other students. So it was a good idea. And another thing that makes Shift very powerful is it's not quite bound by itself. It's an app that can be used with all other apps. And that creates limitless amount of ways to use it. And there was a lot of I remember this time where this is way further in mid-February when I launched it, and some guy used it on Terminal. He used it like to on Terminal to write commands and enter them. That was a unique way I didn't actually think about. Another good thing about it is that it could be it could be used on all code editors. I mean, code editors that don't have AI, like Xcode or Vim or and yeah, and a lot of other apps. And so that creates a lot of possibility of using it. And so yeah, I made the app, and also I made a lot of features that I'm not gonna get into. It's a very enriched application because I really spent a lot of time coding it. And I think I launched it mid-February 2025. So I started mid-November, by the way. I'm not good at storytelling. I'm gonna skip, I'm gonna go back and forth. All right. I have a fish memory, I know why. So, so yeah, I started it mid-November 2024, and I coded it maybe 10 hours, 15 hours a day. I woke up, I coded, I slept. Yeah, I sometimes didn't eat. And it was basically time to launch it. Around mid-February, I would say. I don't remember the dates at all. And what I did was I simply made a 2-minute demo of the app, and of course, I could not show all the features because it would take an hour. Just showed the general idea that I told you guys. I posted on Reddit, and it went viral. It got like 500 upvotes and a lot of comments. And from that one single one, I think I got 30 users. And I was probably the happiest guy on earth. Because but not only that, because the app is paid. Because I need to maintain the servers. I'm gonna make another video talking about what happens in the back end and more technical. This is more like a vlog experience thing. So yeah, I got 30 users my first day, I think, my first days, I would say. And these are paid users. The app costs $7 a month. And for the quality and the features that I have, it's quite cheap, I would say. I actually tested the price with early testers. I was like, how much should I put it? The original price was $5. Because I was like, okay, $4.99 sounds pretty cheap. And they were like, that's too cheap. Make it like $10, $15 a month. And I didn't really want that, so I just settled on $7 a month, $6.99. And I think that's reasonable because I tested it with a majority of people and not just a quick personal decision about it. So I think it's quite justified. Um, So yeah, I got 30 users. It was pretty nice. I've never ever done something this successful, and people loved it. I mean, people started showing me the way they used it. Yeah, I told you guys some guy used it on terminal. I was like, this is cool. And the problem with that was that uh, there was a bug, not in the app itself, but in the backend servers uh, where the requests are handled. And this bug was somehow causing a lot of we call them writes volume in the cloud in the in the servers, and that would cost me a lot of money. And this bug was producing so many writes requests to the server to the cloud, and it was sending I think a million requests, write requests, and a day for 30 users, and that I think that cost me like $10. It was not a big thing. It was not like it was not costing me that much at the time. But if I got a little bit more users, I would go bankrupt because I'm gonna have a 10K dollars bill for just something that should not even cost any money. So I panicked because I was getting a lot of users, right? I was having a huge and I was having this adrenaline as well. I was excited and I was just panicking. I'm gonna go bankrupt because for 30 users is doing 1 million write requests a day per day, and if I just get a little bit of more users, I'm gonna go bankrupt. So I actually had a had a meltdown. I didn't sleep for 4 days, I believe. Actually, I didn't sleep for 4 days trying to fix the issue. It was fixed later, but now I laugh at it. But it was pretty dark times. Um, so yeah, that was a cool experience that I had. Yeah, it was nice. And so I had 30 users. I kept posting on Reddit. I kept getting a lot of users. It was very nice. It was like the honeymoon phase, I would say. But uh, but it was not sustainable. I needed something uh more sustainable, I would say, except just posting on on Reddit. So I wanted to create a community around it because I don't believe in ads, and that is a big that is a I think that's a very great advice. Don't do ads. When you're a startup, you should not be doing ads at all. Don't waste your money on it. Uh, does that mean ads don't work at all? No, ads do work. Uh, if you do them right, but as a startup, uh, they're not efficient. You know, as a startup, you want a community. You want to create a community around around your product. What it doesn't matter what it is, that is organic and genuine. So you can get a lot of feedbacks. Also, it would grow with with people talking to each other about it. You know, I use this app. It's pretty cool. Go use it. The other guy comes use it. The beginning of that would be like this. So after a while, when you already have a quite a nice audience, then you can do ads to boost this growth. So you don't really do ads in the beginning. So you try to make organic, genuine content users on content to get users, and then later when you actually made that community, there's already growing community. You do ads, you know, but not as a startup, not in the beginning. It's I would say that's my advice to people who want to start this path. Don't do ads. Create organic community or users, whatever. So yeah, so I started making channels. I made a subreddit. I started posting there content, uh, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and nobody actually told me to that I was going to be a whole influencer when I was coding. Because I don't really like being an influencer. I'm a I could be I mean I could be a pretty serious person. It's like I would be too shy to do weird stuff like that. Um, so yeah, I did not know that I had to go through a whole influencer phase. That right now, look at that, look at me. I'm making this video. By the way, if you like, make sure to subscribe because I want to go viral. if I didn't say that before. You see, I have a fish memory. I might have said that phrase before, but probably forgot. Anyways, uh, what was I talking about? Creating your own community. I started my own creating my community. YouTube works pretty well. I am starting to get a lot of views thanks to you guys. And it's harder though. It would be slower than spamming random content to others than creating your own, but it would be more genuine. It would be more sustainable, and but it would be harder, of course. It would be slower and it would be harder. So that's a good advice that I have. What happened next? Oh yeah, user feedback. That's a big one that I forgot. I should probably make a plan of what I'm going to talk about in a video. So user feedback is pretty important, and I in the beginning I cared a lot. I mean, I still do, obviously. That sounded wrong, but I care a lot about what users think because I spent I mean, the app was done the first 5 days. I'm a very fast coder, but I spent 2 months making sure it's smooth and also extra features, but making sure the process is smooth and very usable to be used every day. So I started receiving feedback from many users, and that use it even probably more than me. And I really cared about it. The logo, the thing that I always told them is, tell me what you want, tell me the problems, also the problems, but also not only the problems, tell me what you want to see in the app, and I'll code it for you. And I usually code pretty fast, so I ship it in the new update the next day, and they're like, God dang, how did you just make a whole new feature in just one day? I remember this user wanted a library feature that if you download the app and go see, there's a library feature, and that was actually a user that requested that. The Also for the shortcuts that so let's go to the library feature. The library feature, he was like he has these gigantic prompts for translation, and he doesn't want to write them again and again. So I made a center for all the prompts where you can save them and then use them and move them around later in the shortcut section. And another big feature that I thought about back in November, except the main process, was shortcuts. So there's a lot of prompts that you use regularly, like rephrasing, I don't know, adding comments, refactoring code, and a lot of other things you prompts that you use pretty repetitively. So it was like, what if you can set it and link this prompt to a specific shortcut combination on your keyboard. For example, rephrase this in a funny human way. This prompt can is used a lot. So why would I have to rewrite it again and again when I can just go in the shortcut section, make a shortcut, and link it to, for example, command, right option key. So when I go to the text anywhere, select it, and then do right command, right shift, it's just gonna do it for me on the spot. And look how fast that is. You don't even have to write anything. So that's an idea that a lot of people even use more than the general idea of shift. So a library is an extension of that. So if your problem is pretty long, you can save them there, and then you can reuse them, move them around in shortcuts. So it's easier to move them around. Because if it's not there, you have to copy it, delete the current shortcut, and make a new one and paste it there. But this way, it's already in the library. So yeah, that was a user feedback, and I think if you guys are starting your own product, uh, listen a lot to your users because most of the time your users are using your own app that you made more than yourself, and they know more about it and the problems that it has, and also the things that it needs to have as features. So I really cared about that. Let me drink some water. Yes, my it's a milk holder because I did not find a bigger holder for my water, and I don't want to refill it too many times. And most that's the cheapest option, I guess. And so what was I saying? Uh, that's that's something I forgot what I was saying. Um, yeah, user feedback. Oh my God. Oh my God. I have terrible memory. Uh, so yeah, care a lot about your user feedbacks because they use it more than you, and they will know more about the product. Um, so another example I can give is the customization. This one was the biggest requested one. Like I had emails, I had uh, on Reddit, I had messages in the beginning, in the early version, because there's a lot. It's been iterated, so there's a lot of versions. But in the early version of Shift, for the shortcut feature, there was only double tapping type of shortcut. So double tap Shift, double tap Option, double tap Command, double tap Control. There was no like combination or like two key combinations. So you couldn't do Command Shift. And a lot of people apparently who already use a lot of other shortcuts, but like double control, I can't use it with my workflow. And dozens of people said we want two key combinations.
Skibbity dop dop dop. Yes, yes, skibbity WD. Skibbity dop dop dop. Yes, yes, skibbity.